Hey, I'm Ced Hawkins. Welcome to the CedTalks Podcast. My guest today is one of my good friends. He's family, and he's joining me back on the show since our initial sit-down interview back in May of last year. Right now, here is RJ Holland. RJ, welcome back on the show.
How y'all doing, man?
Good, man. Hey, how's life been treating you as of late?
It's alright. I've been chilling, really. You know, I've been, working on trying to get my project out. Unreleased music from, middle school to, sophomore year or something, so...
Right. Was this...
Just working.
Yeah, was this music that you wrote, back then?
Some wrote, some covered. But other than that, I can't sing no more, so... I said I might as well do something.
Got you, man.
Get my old talents out.
Yeah, I feel that, you know. How has life been treating you since the pandemic first hit last March? Because obviously it hit us all really badly last March. So how do you think your life has changed since then, whether it was good or bad?
I say both because I lost my job and then kind of had to recoup after that. But it was therapeutic at the same time because I didn't really have to worry about other people, their problems, bringing their problems into my life. Just being alone, going outside, chilling on the porch, playing games, minding my business. So it's a little bit of both.
Right. Now I feel you. I didn't know that you had lost your job last year. So you were one of the few that ended up losing their jobs because of the pandemic.
Yep.
That's insane.
Yep.
But at least you looked at it as a positive, though, to kind of work on yourself and be alone in a lot of ways.
Yep. That's how it is. I mean, people just got to be just being alone sometimes so you can really think about life and everything. Because when you have too many people in your life, when you have too many people in your life, that comes with a lot of burdens because you got to worry about them. You got to worry about yourself. And the place where I worked at, everybody had problems. So I was I kind of hope I don't get this job back and I can get another job or whatever. Because those people were they were old-fashioned, They judge people all the time. I'm not with that, just treating people like me, with disrespect because I'm quiet, I'm on my business, so they thought I was sketchy for some reason. But I just don't talk to people I don't really know. So
yeah, I feel you. I feel like dealing with loneliness and battling that, it's a struggle for a lot of people that may want to feel like they have to be out and they have to be social with others. And it's not all the times do you really have to put yourself out there. If you have a certain circle of community, of friends and family, you can stick with that. I mean, don't ever not be open to meeting new people and spending time with new people. But to always feel like you have to always go out and be on the go. I feel like that's something that it's not healthy. And I feel like that's a stigma in this country where people feel like they have to be out and they have to be around people and they have to be moving around so much and they just can't sit down. And it's I feel like you have to sit down in life.
Yep, because my job required we used to go to different states, cities in those states, and I met some people I had to work for that were rude and disrespectful in front of their kids. I'm dang, you're teaching your kids how to be disrespectful towards people. Don't do that. I had to deal with a lot of people. I met some famous people. Adrian Peterson.
Oh, that's what's up.
Trent Williams. I'm not a Redskins fan, so I didn't really care. But it was alright.
Yeah. But how do you find that balance, though, in dealing with difficult people? Because that's something that everybody has to go through in life. How did you find that balance or continue to find that balance?
Music, honestly. Even though I can't sing anymore, or rap at all. I could never rap. But making music, I made beats, listen to music, old school music. I need music in my life because I feel like if I didn't have music in my life, I would question my life a lot. Why is my life this? Why is it so standstill? Why is my life gray? My life will feel like a gray area, pretty much, not black or white. So, honestly, music and talking to y'all, pretty much. You know, y'all get me through.
Right. Yeah,
So.
I'd say writing, that's therapeutic for me, and that's what helps me get through some hard times. And reading also, like reading books or reading just different things on the internet about, kind of like successful people and how they've gotten to where they're at, or how I can inhabit those skills for my personal life. That's what helps me get through. And you guys also, you guys provide me lots of encouragement to overcome certain obstacles that I may have in my life. So I think that's a good thing, having healthy things to kind of get you through certain things, especially with dealing with difficult people, because that's just a battle in general.
Honestly. And you got to think life as a business, because I mean that's what it is. You got to get ahead and stuff. You don't want to get left behind in anything. Any positive relationship that you have in life might be good in the future. Whether that person has a come up or you have a come up, or they refer you to somebody and they're like, yo, so-and-so told me something about you. I have faith in you. Would you do this for me? And, but everybody has a different kind of success. So I really can't say anything about that.
Right, exactly.
Really. But life is a business, pretty much.
Mm-hmm. I feel like it's not what you know, it's who you know. And using those connections and choosing to work smarter and not harder, that's what helps you get through. You always have to have that mindset of like, all right, how can I go about my day to day without draining myself or tiring myself out? And I mean, it happens. Everybody tires themselves out and drains themselves out. Like that's just part of life. It happens. But to choose to look at your days and figure out, how can I handle this day? Should I really put all my energy towards this, or should I say, okay, I'm not going to give much attention to this today. I'm just going to focus on this, and I'll give this some attention the next day, right? Like I said, you got to work smarter and not harder.
Sometimes you just got to relax and all that. Just have a blank mind, pretty much. We outside. So I'm looking at the rocks. I'm looking at the fish. I'm looking at the water. And Ced was like, yo, should we do this inside or outside? I was like, why not outside? It feels nice outside. He has a pond. He has fish. Has a yard. And I was like, you know what? It feels good. The vibes are good right now. So
exactly, it's springtime. And I felt like, what better way can we capitalize on this? It's nice weather, but it looks like it's going to rain at the time of this recording. So I don't know what's going to happen. If it starts raining, screw it. We probably just going to stay outside and keep going.
I don't know about that.
But I mean, like, it's good to be out in nature. Like, I feel like being out in nature, it really helps me be in tune with myself and be in tune with what, I should be doing with my life and everything. Like, in the winter, it was tough being cooped up in the house.
Oh, it was, especially during this pandemic. And
on top of that, we had that snowstorm and that ice storm throughout January and February. So I couldn't really go outside and sit out like I wanted to because it was snow out. It was cold. I didn't feel like doing nothing. I was just inside. And that affected my mental health to a degree in a lot of ways. But, I like taking in days like this where it's nice out. It's not too hot out. It's not too cold out.
Nice and warm, 70-some degrees.
Right. Were you always an outdoor person as a kid?
Oh, yeah. It's funny. I used to get judged. I got judged recently in the PlayStation party because I told people, yo, I hated being inside. Like, they was like, but you had all them games. Like, how could you say that? I'm like, yeah. I had a GameCube. I had a Xbox. I had a PlayStation. But just being outside was my thing, I had ADHD, so I was like, nigga, why not go outside, play football or something, play tag, and just be a child,
Right.
And, I had all that stuff, but I don't even have that stuff no more. The only thing I have is a PlayStation. I don't even get on that thing that much. But I still would like to go outside and just, like, have fun. But my body too old for that.
Right. We getting old. But, yeah, being outside was always my thing as a kid. Like, every day after school, me and AJ get off the bus. JB would be next door. Shout out to JB. And we would just come over and jump on the trampoline until 4:30, 5 o'clock. Because that's when AJ's mom would come pick AJ up. So he'd go home. Then Jonathan would go home. Then by then, it was time for dinner. So I'm back inside 5:30, close to 6 o'clock. After that, I do my homework, and then I would just chill out for the night. But I would never go straight inside and just boot up the Wii or boot up the Xbox and just sit there. Yeah, and just play there for hours until it was time for dinner. I mean, unless there was snow out and it was cold out and I didn't feel like being outside, like I was outside in times like this. Like, it's crazy. I work with kids, and you know that. And today's kids, they'd rather be inside on their tablets and doing all that stuff instead of being outside and taking in the nice weather. And it's sad to me that, the world is changing, that generation would rather be inside than outside.
I take it as a blessing and a curse because everything is on the internet.
Right.
So kids can learn a lot of stuff, whether it's negative or positive. Sometimes they might just be looking at Fortnite videos or stuff they can learn about in school and whatnot. So, I mean, yeah, generations change all the time. I mean, you and our generation, we are like the middle child.
Yeah, we are the middle.
Because we love going outside, but we have the privileges to like have video games and whatnot at a young age. But now, like when we get older, everything's inside. Everything's technology based. Everything's on the technical aspect. So,
yeah, and I was having a conversation with somebody about that the other day. Like, our generation, we kind of know what it's like to not have technology to a degree. Because as kids, we had video games, but we didn't have iPhones and Androids and stuff like that.
We had flip phones.
Yeah, we had flip phones. We didn't have that stuff. And then once we got to middle school, close to high school, that's when that stuff started to come out more and stuff started to become more technologically advanced. And so that's when our generation kind of changed, and you have older folks going to us, oh, you don't know what it's like to not have technology, to not have all these different things. And it's like, we may not remember it, but there was a point in time when we were children and we didn't have that stuff, and all we had was being outside.
Every time we came from outside, you smell like outside. It's either stay in or stay out. I stayed out.
Right. You're a father yourself. How would you want your son to come up as a child? Would you want him to come up in the way that you did in terms of being outside more? Or have him have the mindset of like some of these kids today?
Both. Because he a big boy. And I'm like, I don't want you inside all the time. Like, you gonna have to get out and have some fun. But he has fun. He goes to the playground and whatnot. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah,
we have a lot. We have some things in common. We're both sometimes, and but
I feel you.
He's more like his mom, though.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm not a father yet. I don't have no kids yet. Knock on wood. I don't want that for myself. But I think I would want my kids to come up in that same style. Also, is like, I want them to be active and to have fun outside, not be so reliant on their technology. Yeah. I think I'll have their technology be a reward. Like, hey, you did good this week. Instead of 25 to 30 minutes on the tablet, I'll let you be on the tablet for like an hour or so in between times, like on the weekends and stuff like that. Yeah. But I still want them to be outside and be humble with certain things.
Yeah. Because you don't realize you have everything until it's all gone. Right. I've been through that,
Right.
Around 2010, late 2009, throughout whole 2010. My mom and I went broke. So there were times where lights went out. No food. And I was like, damn. Like, outside is really all I got. And thank God I was a kid that always, like, went outside. But I'm not going to lie, I kind of missed the GameCube and the Xbox, my PS3 for the short time I had it. It hurt, but I was like, you know what? I just got to go outside and just not think about what's going on in my personal life and just have fun.
Right.
And I lost weight. So
Right.
I had no choice.
Yeah, I wish I had that experience of having a GameCube. Like, I've only had the Wii and the Xbox. Like, that's about it. But you had the GameCube, AJ and them, they had the PS2 and all that stuff. Like, these are like the OG game consoles.
Yeah,
and
pretty
I ain't
much.
had that. Like, you know, sometimes I do wish I had that at times. But, you know, it is what it is. That's life.
Yeah, I mean, you had a Wii, though, so you can play GameCube games.
Yeah, I didn't know that at the time. And I was too busy worrying about the new Wii games that was coming out. And then by the time that, you know, I realized that I could play GameCube games, everybody around me was getting PS3s and Xbox 360s. So I was like, you know what, man? It's time to upgrade. I'm tired of playing Nintendo. I'm trying to play GTA. I'm trying to catch a body.
Yeah, GTA ain't all that.
Yeah, exactly. But shifting gears from that, though, do you feel like it's healthy for individuals to have periods of downtime, you know, when they are by themselves?
Yeah. Like I said, it's very therapeutic. You get to think about yourself and be like, okay, this is my time only. I don't want to be bothered. I want to do stuff that I want to do. You know, just have time to myself, relax. Everybody should have downtime.
Yeah.
It's healthy for you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't want to be a person or meet a person that's always on the clock, because it's like, damn, you're tired. You think you happy until like you finally have a downtime, you know, moment of downtime, and be like, oh damn, I was really stressing myself. So everybody should just have a clean slate for a day or two and just wind down if they have that privilege.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I remember back in 2017, close to 2018, when we was making those moves, like, every day it seemed like y'all would come over here every day. And it's like, man, I really want to see y'all. And I don't want to say no, but I kind of want some me time. I want some time to myself. Like, at the time, it was my senior year of high school. You know, school was stressing me out, had some stuff going on, you know, personally with my mom and stuff like that. And it was nice to be around people, but it's like sometimes I really wanted some time to myself. And it was hard for me to find that balance of like, how do I hang out with the guys, but also, you know, find some time for myself also. And I would stress myself out because there were times when, you know, y'all would hit me up and be like, hey, you know, you want to come over? Or, hey, can we come over? And I really wanted to say no, but I was like, I don't want to be, you know, a jerk and say no. So I'd say yes, but in the process, I was not taking account of my mental health and realizing that I need a break. Because if I don't take a break, I'm going to start lashing out on somebody.
Yeah.
And I don't want to push my people away like that.
I peeped it. I actually like used to like look at you from the corner and be like, damn, I wish you would have told us no. You know,
Yeah.
You gotta, there's some things you just gotta tell your homies. Be like, look, family or not, y'all gonna have to understand I got stuff going on, so I don't really want to be around people.
Right.
I just want time to myself. I got stuff going on. I just want to be to myself. And if we didn't understand that, or couldn't understand it, or won't understand it, you had every right to cut us off. And I couldn't be mad because, you know, that's the mature side. You got to look at stuff maturely. You just can't look at stuff at the short term. You can't look at life short term, because if that was the case, we'll be shit out of luck.
Yeah.
You got to look at stuff at, you know, long term.
Yeah. Because, like, y'all would go to the rec, y'all would play basketball, and I'm not the type to play basketball like that, but I felt like, you know what, I have to do this. Like, I would force myself to do it because it felt like I had to do it, but y'all are my boys regardless, and I knew y'all would understand. So I think it was either December of 2017 or maybe sometime in 2018 was the last time I went with y'all to ball, and I was like, you know what, that's it. I can't ball with y'all no more. Like, I love y'all. If y'all want to ball, y'all can ball. I can respect that, but balling's not my thing. So I'll catch y'all another time.
I feel you.
Yeah, and it worked out, you know. We still cool. It's 2021, you know what I mean? So everything worked out.
Yeah, I mean, everybody has their thing, you know. I can adapt to anything, pretty much, you know. I don't draw because I can't. But I will, you know, if Cedric was like, hey, bro, you want to draw? I'll be there. I highly doubt that I'll draw all the time, but I'll be there because I'm like, yo, he the homie. He my cousin, first of all. So I was like, hey, why not? You know?
Yeah, I mean, that one time when we went to the art museum in DC. Like, y'all had no business to be going to some art museum, but y'all said, sure, why not? And we made a move to DC. That's like the last time we ever like made a move to DC like that. But I mean, it was a fun day, and it was like, I wasn't really interested in the art project. Y'all probably weren't even interested in it, but you know, we all went together and we had a great time because of it. So
I was interested. I like art.
And I was too. I was interested. Art is pretty cool to look at.
All forms of art, music, painting, sculptures, all that. Dancing. Art is cool, It gives you an illusion or an escape. Because anybody can do it, really. We just don't know.
Right.
I can. I tried. I can't dance no more. Knees hurt. But, life and art go together. It's an expression.
Right.
Art is an expression. We need that. So and going back to where I said at first, I love music so much because it's an expression. Whether if I feel that or not. Just hearing people express themselves is storytelling, pretty much. So
yeah, I know on the last podcast we was talking about your love of acting and not producing but storytelling. You putting on a story and telling a story as an actor. Is that something that still interests you?
It still interests me. I have a lot of ideas. So like, my mind gets to racing, and my idiot self doesn't put it in notes. But thankfully, I can remember some things. Like, if I ever had the opportunity to have my own show, I would get stuff that I dreamed about and just put it in there because my dreams are wild. Like, they're wild. I wish I lived my dreams sometimes. Yeah. Even though I die at every single one of them. Every dream I die in. But I'm like, damn. Before I died, that dream was kind of cool. And, it's a fantasy that I would wish other people could see, on TV or a big screen, pretty much. Some people might get inspired and be like, damn, this nigga dreams is crazy. That's crazy. This enjoyable. Or sometimes I just want to put my real life, not my life now, because I don't think anybody wants to live my life right now. But when I was a kid, I had everything, I had stuff going on. And I feel like letting people to see that perspective, see my little kid perspective. I don't know how to say that, really. But I think it would be cool because they'd be like, damn, I didn't know about that. I met him at this time, but I didn't know about that. Or, damn, that's why he's like that now. And, you really get a grip of who that person is somewhat. That's why I like biopics so much. Like the last the New Edition movie, I keep watching that.
Yeah, bro. I like that New Edition story.
Like every month, like every other month, I keep watching that.
Wow.
That came out 4 years ago.
It did. That's crazy to think about.
That came out when I was like low-key down bad emotionally. Emotionally, I was down bad. So when that movie came out, it kind of helped me because I was like, damn. Yeah. These are 5 little knucklehead-ass kids from the projects. Right, and have the talent. One of the hardest projects in Boston. And went out there, did their thing, got robbed of their music, did that, wasn't getting paid, still getting wronged. They were homies, but they never really said anything to each other, which is therapeutic in a way, because I don't want to be like that with my homies, with Cedric and them, because you don't want to be 50 and be like, damn, like, why didn't we talk about that? Nah, I'm a firm believer that we should talk about everything. Mm-hmm. So that's why biopics and, if I have my own movie or have my own show, people get to see a side of me and be like, damn, like, okay, I can learn something from this. Right. And just go from there.
Yeah, I mean, scripture says that you should confess your sins to one another, and that's what gets stuff out there. And like you said, we all homies and boys and stuff, and that doesn't just relate to boys also. It relates to girls also, you know. I feel like if you guys have that close enough relationship where you trust each other, you know, there's nothing wrong in being honest about how you feel about a certain situation. Just being like, hey, you know, you've been behaving like this, and this, you know, lately. What's been going on? Like, what's up? Like, I'm not trying to call you out or anything and be rude. I just want to address this situation that I feel is in my heart, because you my homie or you my girl, and I don't want nothing bad to happen to you, and I don't want this relationship to fall apart. So, you know, let's get it out in the open. Let's talk about it. And I think that's a healing thing, to be honest about how you feel instead of letting it bottle up.
Yep. Because you don't want to be New Edition now, I tell you that. Where they always say, oh, we going to come out with a new album. We finna do all that, go on tour. Them niggas is 50-something years old. Haven't made any new music that we heard of in forever. And I look up to them, pretty much. Thanks to my mom, because she always used to blast them. Oh, my goodness. You know how many times I heard Can You Stand the Rain? If It Isn't Love, when I was a kid. And I felt like I was like Ralph. I feel like I'm Ralph, because sometimes I would put people ahead of me. I would think for everybody else. Mm-hmm. And sometimes I'll regret it, because I'll be like, damn, did I really say we should go bowling when I didn't want to go bowling? I didn't want to, but I mean, as long as they're happy. But they got to understand, if I want to branch off and do my thing, I want them to, you know, kind of respect that and be happy about it.
Yeah.
And, you know, like... But sometimes I feel like I wish I was Bobby, because Bobby had that courage, man. Bobby had that courage. He had that personality, correcting myself, where he was outgoing. Some of it, was drugs. Drugs took a part of that. But I really feel like outside the drugs, that was him regardless. You know, Bobby's energetic. And I could relate to that as a kid, but now I'm more like Ralph. I'm more laid back. I don't really express myself as much, but when I do, it's like, damn, I thought you was just this.
Right.
Or I didn't even think that, or something.
Right.
So,
yeah. I see you more as Ronnie. But now, because Ronnie's he's the tall one, but he's the laid back and quiet one. You know what I mean? Yeah. But he has that quiet leadership, I felt like. Like, you saw it in the movie. Ronnie was so quiet, and then, you know, once his Uncle Brooke had that heart attack, it's like that one little thing. It's not a little thing. That's a big thing. That was his uncle, you know? Yeah. And all the fighting, all the stress had just culminated and had reached his breaking point. And that's when he just popped off, and he went off on everybody.
But... also, nobody told Ronnie that other stuff was going on.
Right.
So, you kind of get a side of, damn, we should have told Ronnie this was going to happen before he showed up. But they didn't, so I felt like, you know, that was kind of being petty. You know, they were like 20-something. They were like 26, 27, damn near 30. I feel like at an age, you shouldn't be like that no more. You know, when they're your boys. Yeah, I get that. You see them, like, almost every day. Or talk to them almost every day. But you shouldn't get tired of them. You know, tell them how it is, man.
Yeah.
Because the older you get, nobody has time for foolishness.
Right, exactly. Like, I remember, like, a few weeks ago, we made a move. Probably last month, I want to say. But I had made the suggestion, hey, let's go to Red Robin. And you had said, we always go to Red Robin. Let's go to Checkers. So I was like, all right, that's cool. Because I know you can be very particular with where you eat at. And sometimes you don't.
I hate Chipotle.
Yeah. and you don't make that suggestion of where we should go. And sometimes we forget to take account of what you want, because we're thinking about what we want, what we're trying to eat. So you had made a suggestion. I was like, I'm down. So I was like, man, like that's really cool that you really, you know, spoke up and you made a suggestion versus me or, you know, other people making that suggestion.
But I make a suggestion to where, like, I'm like, okay, it just can't be what I want, because if that's the case, that will be selfish.
Right.
And it'll be like, yo, we don't eat here. we understand you don't eat here, so we're giving you a chance to, like, say something and be like, where you want to eat. Now, if I say, let's go to Whataburger, and y'all don't like that, it's like, why do we want to go there? Like, just because you like going there, go by yourself.
Right.
But, you know, I'm like, okay. They like Checkers. I haven't had Checkers in a long time. You haven't had Checkers in a long time. So I was like, Cedric said he liked Checkers. I like Checkers the time I had it. Why not go? So we went and ate it.
I'm definitely getting a big Buford next time, or definitely like a bigger burger.
I'm not doing
that. I punished that joint, son, and I was like, man, I'm still hungry. And like, Edwin and I went to Chick-fil-A, but I really didn't want to really stuff myself with all that fast food. So I was like, man, I'm still hungry though. Like, man, next time I'm getting like a bigger burger or something, maybe like 2, and I'll eat it halfway.
Yeah,
but
that's why you gotta have that triple bacon burger I had.
Yeah,
that shit was crazy.
Factual.
That shit's crazy.
Yeah, but you know, talk to me about feeling like you are quiet, like you are kind of by yourself and you keep to yourself, because I'm still learning with myself as an individual that it's okay to be quiet and not be as talkative when around others. Are you okay? Are you confident in yourself being a quiet person?
Yeah, I'm confident. I've been like that most of my life. Even though I was energetic and had fun, always been in the cut, laid back guy. Like, yeah, sometimes I will act out in school just cause. But other than that, when it was time to learn, I was learning. You know, I didn't like sitting in front of the class because of my personal reasons. I don't like when I feel like if I sat in front of somebody, I feel like they're about to mess with me. You know, just paranoia stuff. And I have good reasons why, because I used to get picked at in school when I was a kid. You know, I never liked to get slapped in my neck, but niggas just kept doing it.
Yeah, bro.
In elementary school.
It was the worst, man.
Yeah. And I was like, yo, look, I'll get a referral just sitting in the back. I don't care. Like, I feel like teachers or anybody gotta, you know, and it's not even really being a diva, but people gotta understand when you don't feel comfortable with something. So I always recommended that I should sit in the back of the class. If not, I'm just gonna sit in the back of the class anyway.
Right.
You know. And I did that, and I was more productive sitting in the back of the class, minding my business and doing that stuff. And, you know, always been laid back, minding my business, all of that. Already said that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not a big deal to me because I've always been like that. But it gives me time to think about what people I should hang around, what I should get involved with. Because you understand a lot if you just sit back and observe. Not necessarily people, but, other things. Like the clock on the wall. You know, anything. Just observe anything. You know, the behavior of other people, animals, the weather. You know, feel like you're in tune with yourself. And I do a lot of research on stuff. Like movies, shows, animals. Mostly like birds and fish. I don't know why. Just birds give me joy somewhat.
Nah, I'm the same way.
Yeah.
Like, I remember probably a few weeks ago, I was researching Octopus. I don't even know why. I think it's because I was watching an ocean documentary.
I hate octopus.
And I saw the octopus, and they were talking about how it's the smartest creature in the ocean. So I was like, really? So I Googled it, what are the smartest animals? And sure enough, an octopus is one of the smartest animals in the ocean. I was like, man, that's crazy to think about. And I did more research, and it's like they have such big brains that they process information so differently than other sea animals. Like, for example, I saw a video where a crabberman, he was crabbing, right? So he put the crab cage at the bottom of the ocean, and he put bait in there for the crabs. The crabs went in there, and the holes are so big that the crabs can easily get out.
Yeah. But
I'm not trying to say that crabs are stupid, but they didn't know how to get out through the holes. And here you have this octopus who is camouflaging himself. He comes out from underneath the rock. You know, he realizes that he can't, you know, squeeze in there slowly. So he just dove in there head first and ate all the crabs. Yeah. And then the crabman, he starts pulling the cage up from the bottom of the ocean. The octopus is still stuck inside. So the octopus is thinking, man, how am I going to get out of here? And this is like a giant Pacific octopus. So it's the big joint. So he's trying to figure it out. He's squeezing through. And just as, you know, the cage hits the surface, he squeezes out and he goes back to the bottom of the ocean. So I'm like, man, most sea creatures probably wouldn't even figure that stuff out. Yep. But it's like, I do that research also, research on animals too, and just to think how smart they think. I don't do it like OC crazy. Like, I'm not one of these like animal lovers or animal freaks, but
I do it sometimes. I ain't gonna lie.
It's cool though. It's cool though. I think it's interesting. I think it's interesting how nature works and how
it is.
You know, animals work and stuff like that.
I would never do research on octopus, by the way, because I hate octopus. I hate looking at them. They're so ugly.
Oh,
like look at look at their head, the way they move.
That is true.
They eat, bro.
Yeah, like, the way they eat is kind of weird.
Like you mean to tell me looking at an octopus, it's like, damn, bro, that's the coolest. Like, yeah, they have cool features, but looking at one, that shit's scary. I couldn't even watch Finding Dory all that much. Because the way the octopus is like moving,
that
walking
red
on,
octopus.
I'm like, bro, like if I saw one in person, I would think that's the devil. If I was a kid, I would have thought that was a devil.
Right. Yeah, and like orcas too, like killer whales. Like orcas, they're also smart animals. Also,
that's why I feel like there should be no such thing as SeaWorld. Like, yeah, it's cool that we can see animals, you know, sea creatures or other animals. I feel like there should be no zoos though, because that has a lot of emotional scars with them animals. You seen plenty of footage where bears go crazy. They walk in circles. Or apes in particular, they go crazy because they're not in the environment that they're in.
Yeah.
And I always think, like, what if that was us? What if we're in zoos and animals looking at us like, damn, these humans are dumb. These humans are dumb. Like, why they live like this? They live like this? Like, they're not going crazy. Like, I'm pretty sure we would go crazy if we were just caged in everywhere. That's why I feel like people should go outside, but everybody doesn't have that privilege of going outside because some people live in dangerous environments where, like, I'd rather stay inside where it's safe than going outside and meet my maker. But nonetheless, I feel like everybody should just be free. Anything, I mean, anybody or anything should just be free. I don't believe in zoos. I don't believe in aquariums. As much as cool, aquariums are cool. I'm not gonna lie.
Right.
And you know, I feel like that's a gray area with me.
Yeah.
Because I'm amused of aquariums. I'm like, damn, I'm scared of sharks, but that's a cool ass shark.
Right.
But this shark probably going crazy because this shark is like, I've been in here for like 10 years.
He's swimming in circles.
And just going crazy. And I feel like, you know what? Why don't we get some boats or go out in the sea if we had that privilege?
Make it cheap, because I know it's expensive to do it.
Yeah. And just like see animals in the wild, see how they really are. You know, I don't want to see animals adapt to their environments in a closed environment. Like, yeah, they're still going to act the way, you know, because they're wild, but they're like, man, I want a human to come up in here so I can tell them how it really is. Like, you know, like, orcas, they really have big-ass orcas. Yeah, to us, that pool is huge to us. That pool where they have, like...
Yeah, it's like a big, gigantic tank.
Yeah, that's...
Probably goes from the size of that cage in the pond to that cage right here.
Yeah, that's...
Probably even bigger.
That's huge to us. But to an orca, it stresses them out. Their fins...
It's collapsed.
Yup.
Collapsed, I mean, whatever.
Yeah. It folds down because they're stressed. Yeah. So they're like, damn, this human looking mighty good right now. I'm going to kill this dude. Or I'm going to kill this woman. Like, some things just got to be out in the wild. A lot of things should just be out in the wild. Like, I want to see a monkey right now just be like, just snatch my phone because it can.
I wouldn't.
just because it can. Because
But
it's like, yo, what you gonna do about it?
Exactly.
This is my stuff. This
Right.
is my shit. And animals don't have that privilege, you know. An animal can't say no. A monkey probably could. An ape probably could. A parrot, if we being a smart ass, because they can talk or mimic. They don't really talk, but they mimic. You know, the sounds, how it bounces, how it sways, and all that. But if they could, if animals could speak like us, oh yeah, they would be like, nah, nigga, I ain't going with you. I ain't going with you. And that's why I like the concept of Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
Because they're splicing DNA, they're doing all this stuff, cruel stuff to animals, and not my bad, to apes, monkeys, and all that. And we do that stuff in real life,
right.
Trying to figure out their biology, how they move. And that's foul, because if an ape just gets up one day, I doubt that is going to happen. But if they get up one day and be like, humans got to go, they're terrible. I don't care what human seems polite. My previous, my past of humans is terrible. Yeah, it might just be that one human that's terrible, but my perspective is all humans are like this. And yeah, so one day, I'm just saying, if apes attack, I'm riding with them, because I'm like, hey, bro, it's either kill or be killed. I'm adapting to that.
Exactly.
I'm like, hey, as long as they don't kill my people I'm cool with, I'm good.
Right.
That person down the street, go ahead, bro. I don't care about that person.
But do you feel with, like, animals in zoos and aquariums, like, do you think that you can take them out of that environment and just put them back in their natural wild habitat?
They would have to have time, because it's just like us.
It's a gray area, I feel like. Because it's going to take time for them to readapt to certain things, because you have other animals who have been pretty much in the wild their whole life, and they know how things work. It's survival of the fittest there, whereas you have an animal, you know, let's say an ape, for example, or a gorilla. You know, they grew up in the zoo pretty much their whole life, and then it's a whole entire rule where it's like, all right, zoos are banned. We got to take all these animals, put them back in the wild. You've had a gorilla that's been taken care of by humans, you know. They've been given medicine to heal themselves. Now they're out in the wild, and they can't rely on that human interaction. And now it's like open space for them, and it's like, man, how would they like adapt to that? Like, I've read stories where some animals, they've been put back in their wild habitats, and they end up dying just because it was hard for them to just readapt to everything. So it's like, it's a gray area with me. Like, I agree. I don't think animals should be locked up or anything like that, caged in. I mean, if you're trying to nurse them back to health and then put them back in the wild, like, I think that's
different.
fine.
Yeah, that's
different. But
that's
I mean,
different.
to showcase them out for people to see, like, I don't think that's right. Because people are reckless. They'll try and go into the cage and stuff. And then they're not going to kill the person that went into the cage. They're going to kill the animal.
Yep, yeah, bro, that's wild.
So the animal's going to lose their life because we got a human being that wanted to be stupid and wanted to get up close just to get a picture on their phone.
Yep.
Like, come on now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
R.I.P. Harambe.
He kind of had it coming a little bit.
I mean, he
that's a baby.
He ain't had to drag the baby, man.
Yeah. But, I mean, shit, we're humans. You know, we're not perfect.
Right.
Nothing is perfect.
Right, exactly.
But I don't think animals should die because of what a human did.
Mm-hmm.
Like, man, come on. Like, you mean to tell me if I jump in the pool with a shark, like, I cut myself and jump in the pool with a shark, and it tries to kill me, I'm like, no, I deserve that. I went into its spot. That's why I don't swim in the oceans. Like, when we went to Ocean City, I'm like, nigga, I'm not getting in that water. Nigga, we don't belong here. But I did it anyway. I was like, hey, if we all just get swept up by something, that's on us, because we took that initiative to be like, we swimming in here.
Right. And at that time, I didn't even know that, like, oceans can literally sweep you up and you can die from that.
Oh, yeah.
Like, literally.
The drop zone.
Exactly. So it's like, now I have a fear of oceans myself. And it's like, you know, I'll only go but so far, but I'm not going all the way out there. Like, I'll put my feet in the water, maybe put a little bit of my body in there, but to go all the way out in the ocean, it's like, that's reckless, bro.
Oh, no.
Just to hear the stories of people, like, getting swept up in currents and drowning, like, that's a terrible way to go out, in my opinion, man. I don't know.
I don't mind the currents. I just I mind the animals that live in there, man.
Facts.
Man, what? Like, the fact that water, like, the ocean has sharks is scary to believe that. Yeah, it's scary. Not believe it, but to think that. Like, sharks are scary.
Exactly.
Yeah, and sharks don't want to kill us unless it's a tiger shark. Tiger sharks, they eat trash. Tiger shark eats trash.
That's terrible, man.
So, if a tiger shark sees me and be like, yo, I'm used to eating trash all my life. Like, that human right here look good. I'm going to tear him up. Great whites, they don't like us. They bite us and be like, oh, damn, I thought you was a seal. My fault. I took your arm out. My fault. I didn't do that. If I could take it back, I would.
But I can't. I ate it.
Yeah.
But low key, though, I would go in a shark cage and, like, I'd do it.
I ain't doing that.
I'd do it. I'd go in that shark cage, just kind of look at them. But, like, I would hope that the shark wouldn't, like, go in between the bars. Because I've seen videos of that. Where you have the divers.
Because you're playing with them.
Yeah. You have the divers in the cage and the shark, he dives through and he's like, he's hungry because he saw that bloody fish. Yeah. And so he wants to eat somebody. So, like, yeah, that's a big fear of mine. But I think for the experience, I would do it, but that's still a fear.
I can't do that because, like, I feel like you're playing with that animal.
You're
playing with the shark. Like,
that's true.
It's like it's like an emotional. It's like an emotional roller coaster for him because it's like, yo, there's food in here and I can't have it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna do anything to kill this thing. Like, it's crazy.
Unless you give him food afterwards, like,
yeah. Like, I think we should just study animals, how they are, all that, and just leave it from there. If they're damaged, we can take care of that. Other than that, nah. Just leave them alone.
Exactly.
That's how I am.
Yep. What kind of advice would you give to someone dealing with feelings of loneliness? Shifting back to that topic, you know, if you could offer a piece of advice to anyone, because a lot of people are going through it in the middle of this pandemic.
That's true. My advice would be find anything that you're comfortable with. Oh shit! Find out anything you're comfortable with, what makes you happy. Because my advice might not even work if I tell you, hey, you should do this, you should do that. Nah, I feel like find whatever makes you happy.
Right.
If basketball makes you happy, go out and ball. Anything just makes you happy. Fishing, writing, just do that. You know. And yeah, you're going to be by yourself. How you doing? Being by yourself, yeah, it's lonely. It sucks. But just because you're by yourself doesn't mean you're lonely. Because you have something that you care about, something that you're passionate about. And you can find that. And, you know, like I said, just because you're by yourself doesn't mean you're lonely.
Right.
You have a lot of stuff. You can figure out what makes you happy. So.
Yeah. How has being yourself really shaped and formed your life in your 23 years of being on this earth?
That's a trick question. That's a trick question.
I feel like you're a very real person. Like, you keep it straight up. You keep it 100. As cliche as that sounds, like, you're very blunt with what you say. And you don't care how the boys may feel about it. You just say what you feel because you feel like it's important for us and you want us to grow as individuals. And I think that's you. Like, you're not doing that just to do it. You're doing that because that's you. And I feel like that's really benefited you.
I do it. I like to tell people what they need to hear. I do believe that people should hear what they want to hear, but to an extent.
Right.
People have to hear what they have to hear. They have to listen. Hearing and listening are two different things. Just because you say I feel you don't mean you listening all the time. Or I hear you doesn't mean you listening. People have to hear what they have to hear. Because if you're just telling them what they want to hear, that's not going to be good for them all the time. Because they're going to be dependent of you and be like, depending on you all the time. Be like, oh, like, what should I do about this situation? And you're not giving them, like, straight up advice. Like, that's foul, because when that person goes away and does their own thing, or the worst might happen, pass away or die, you're going to have that mindset of, damn, this person being straight up with me, and I don't like that. And also, just because you're being straight up doesn't mean you have to be disrespectful about it, because I don't like that.
Mm-hmm.
If you have something to say to somebody, be respectful. Because we're humans. We have feelings. If a person told me, yo, straight up, you stink, I don't like that, you foul, I'm like, damn, you could have said that respectfully. Like, yo, pull me aside and be like, yo, man, like, something going on at home. Like, you smell, like, you kind of, your hygiene ain't there.
Right.
I'm like, yo, yeah, I'm glad you said something. Like, yeah, stuff ain't going on, 100% with me. Or I have the necessities that I need to clean myself, but I just don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to tell somebody. I would love somebody to tell me, be like, nigga, you stink. Like, honestly. But I didn't want to say it in front of people because I didn't know how they would react or how you would react. And just being straight up with people.
Right.
But be respectful about it
Mm-hmm.
because you don't know how that person going to react to that disrespect. And you can't get mad at that. Like, if a person say, yo, I'm going to slap the shit out you, and you better not do nothing about it, I'm like, yeah, I wish you would slap me. Like, if you slap me, this is what's going to happen. And they get mad that I retaliate back. I'm like, bro, I told you.
Exactly.
I told you how it was, man.
Yeah.
You can't treat people in any other kind of way.
Mm-hmm.
Because that shit going to come back to bite you.
Right. I'm glad you touched on that, though. Like, telling people what they need to hear versus what they want to hear. Because I've had instances where, I've gone to people for certain situations and, they straight up told me what I needed to hear, not what I wanted to hear.
That's not good all the time.
It's
not good all the time.
It's not good all the time. I feel like people... I don't know what to say. Like, not that you need to be nurtured, but I feel like sometimes you need to be empathetic with people and just understand where they're coming from. But I feel like sometimes when you're turning a blind eye to your issues and what you're going with and you're refusing to just acknowledge them, I feel like that's when you do need that slap in the face, so to speak. I don't mean literally, like, don't go out and slap somebody in the face, when they're not what they're doing, even though they may need it. But I feel like sometimes when people aren't doing what they're supposed to do and they know what they need to do, but they just refuse to do it or refuse to accept their faults and what they did wrong, then that's when you do need to say, look, you've been doing this, this, and this. I've been trying to help you, but you're not listening to me. So straight up, get your, what together.
Yo, get that ass together.
Yep.
Pause.
Right.
I'm not with that pause movement.
Exactly.
But yeah, I had to say it like that. I had to say pause after that.
Yeah, exactly. But there's nothing wrong with giving people empathy, when they come to you with a situation and just listening to them. Like you said, it's one thing to hear them and say, you know what, I feel you. And then you say you feel them, but you give no advice at the end of the day. But I feel like when you really do listen to a person and you actually try to actively help them out while also acknowledging their feelings, like, I feel like that can go a long way in developing a relationship, whether that's a romantic relationship or a friendship. You know what I mean? Like, that's just the key. Healthy communication.
Yeah, you gotta treat people how you want to be treated. Because if you don't like to be told what you want to hear, don't tell other people what they want to hear. Because that's not going to feel good all the time, man. That's just going to make that person more vulnerable. So when they come to a person that tells them straight up, yo, that ain't good for you, G. Or you got to move like this. You can't keep moving how you moving. They're going to take it as disrespect. Because it's like, yo, this person crazy talking to me like that. But I'm like, nah, they telling you straight up how it is.
Right.
You're just not used to that.
Exactly.
You can't nurture people, make them, a Lord of Frog. I'm scared of frogs, guys.
Oh, no.
That thing just popped up.
I told you we got frogs in there.
but yeah. That's how it is. You just can't do all that. I'm looking at this frog right now. I'm scared.
You distracted. But no, I totally agree with you in that sense. You shouldn't nurture people all the time. You should definitely tell them, how it is, but do it in a respectful way, like you said. Like, don't be disrespectful about it. Because when you're disrespectful about it, that can turn a person off to opening up to people, because they'll feel, oh, well, the last time I opened up to someone, they said this to me, and I don't really feel like it helped me out. So, like you said, do it in a respectful fashion.
Yep, you got to.
Yep.
You got to, bro. Like, stuff goes a long way. Even though a person may disrespect you in life, don't mean you got to treat other people like that.
Exactly.
Life is a revolving door.
It really is.
Life is a revolving door. You just not going to meet that one person and think shit's slick or shit's sweet. Because it's not. Shit not sweet around you. know. But if you treat people, even if you treat people, I'm a firm believer. I'm going to scratch what I was about to say. I'm a firm believer in if you get slapped, you're going to get slapped back. I'm a gray area. Yes, I admit that. I am a firm believer that I should respect people even when I'm being disrespected. To an extent. I can't take all the disrespect. I'm like, yo, straight up, I don't like how you talking to me. You're going to have to change your tone. If you don't want to do that, shit going to go down. Or I can just ignore it. Like, we're not perfect.
Right.
But
don't bite the hand that feeds you.
Yup. Because that's how people get messed up.
Exactly. And so, my final question to my final question to you, this man just threw a shell into the pond. But my final question to you, before we go ahead and wrap this up, if you could offer a piece of advice to 2020 RJ, talk to that RJ in the beginning of the pandemic, what would you say to that RJ?
Yo, you still gonna be the same. Hey, look, 2021, you still gonna be the same. You're just gonna be a year older.
Yup.
You know, I always kept things moving, you know. I think 2020 me is still the same. I'm still the same person. I think really 2017 to 2020 or 2021 RJ is different.
Mm-hmm.
I was in a different space. I was in a different element 2017. You know, I had to adapt to a lot of stuff. And I was like, okay, this is how I gotta move now.
Right.
Okay. And I just took shit to the chin and learned by myself, really, you know. I'm a straightforward person. So if a person tells me something straight up, I'm going to take it. Because I'm like, yo, that's respect. I'm a straightforward person. I like to learn straightforward. I don't like when people, like, do all this. We got to find A. But before we find A, we going to find C. I'm like, no. To find A, we going to find A first.
Exactly.
That's what we doing. I don't want to find A. I don't want to have to find A. But first we got to find C. And then we got to find Z after that. Like, no. If we gonna find A, we gotta find A. I'm trying to learn straight up. Don't give me all this. Oh, we gotta loop around. I'm not with that. But 2017, I had to learn straightforward. Like, yo, this is how stuff gotta be, and this is how I gotta do it. And yeah, so no advice from 2020 me on, you know, pretty much how I gotta cope with this pandemic, because I'm getting my bread regardless. I ain't gonna say how to do it, but it's legal. It's legal. That's it. It's legal. But nah, I stream and all that. I make money from playing games. It's not a lot, but it's something.
Exactly.
But yeah, man, like, you gotta get it how you get it, pretty much. But no advice from 2020 me on how this pandemic will affect you in 2021.
Nice. That's what's up, bro. But once again, thank you so much for your time again. You know, we'll most likely have another conversation like this in front of the phone again. But thank you for your time, bro. And, you know, take care as always.
No problem.
Yup. Stay blessed and stay encouraged. And, you know, I'll be back with y'all. Take care.